For my days pass away like smoke, and my bones burn like a furnace. My heart is struck down like grass and has withered. I forget to eat my bread. Because of my loud groaning, my bones cling to my flesh. I am like a desert owl of the wilderness, like an owl of the waste places. I lie awake. I am like a lonely sparrow on the housetop. All the day my enemies taunt me. Those who deride me use my name for a curse. For I eat ashes like bread and mingle tears with my drink because of your indignation and anger. For you have taken me up and thrown me down. My days are like an evening shadow. I wither away like grass. Verse 12. But you, O Lord, are enthroned forever. You are remembered throughout all generations. So Psalm 102 is again reconciling these two very opposed, seemingly opposed things. The brevity and the brokenness of life with the goodness of God and his promises. This is an important thing for all of us to do. We all need to reconcile these two things. Here we see the psalmist, literally the subtitle the ESV gives this psalm is a prayer of one afflicted when he is faint and pours out his complaint before the Lord. So the psalmist, it doesn't stop him, his belief in God's goodness, from pouring out his complaints in prayer. And really you see the tension in this psalm. All of us must deal with this tension and reconcile these two things. And you have a couple options there. You can ignore one of these extremes. You can try to ignore and stuff down the brokenness of the world, and you can try to only live in a place of sort of shallow positivity, if you will, where you really don't want to hear about the realities that are going on in the world, and you kind of plug your ears every time you hear them. The other extreme is to live in a total pessimism where all you see is the brokenness of the world and you grow cynical and hard-hearted against these things and you lack hope and believing in the promises that God gives us in Scripture. Well, clearly neither of those things are the right way. We must reconcile these things. And the good news is the Scripture consistently does this for us, and it is the message of the gospel. Christ, the God of the universe and all of his perfection and goodness, comes to the broken creation, not ignoring the fact that it's broken, but because it is so broken. And he comes to rescue. And his promises are true, and yet he tells his disciples, you will have trouble in this life, but take heart, for I have what? Overcome the world. And so the gospel perfectly holds these things in tension, and we must do this for ourselves. We must desire to live in the real world for what it is. It's in that place that the gospel truly becomes beautiful. It's in understanding that there is a diagnosis of death on this world and on your soul, that the goodness of the gospel and the remedy that Jesus offers becomes good news to you. So take that to heart as you read this psalm today. And then do some reconciling work in your own heart as you pray. Pray like this. Give God pour out your heart to him. Lay out your complaints. But then lay hold of the fact that God stands over time. He stands over all creation and all people, and he is good.